because you don't know nothing.
Exactly. And the verification always comes with the knowledge. The main knowledge that we're talking about here is the knowledge that you gain from this curiosity. After you gain this curiosity and this knowledge that you're going to stack up, you're going to have to prove it. You're going to have to research for yourself and prove it. So this is where the internet comes back in. Internet comes back in this situation. You get some information on, like the Mo said, white Jesus or European Jesus, and then you go on. What is some more information you might get? You get a lot of misleading information about
the Egyptians were Arab.
Yeah, Egyptians were Arab. They're trying kick you off put you onto another path, the wrong path, off the path of righteousness and onto another path. But this step of verification is proving the knowledge, so you don't become a knowledge junkie and really getting incorrect knowledge. So you get the correct knowledge, which is verification. This is the next step.
Oh, another thing to add about the verification is knowledge itself does not mean that it's truthful.
It's not knowledge if it's not truthful. It's falsehood, but they like to call it knowledge.
Right, exactly. So it's knowledge is something that you know, but you can say if somebody walks down the street, oh, I know that Jesus was just a European. Okay, that guy in his heart believes that he honestly thinks he knows that he's wrong, but he thinks he knows it.
He only believes.
So it has to be verified with facts and logic and common sense. So
Exactly. Mainly common sense, your intuition. But the next step we're gonna move on to is comprehension, which is gaining an understanding of the knowledge that you just verified and you've obtained, and making sure you understand this knowledge and you this sinks in and how this affects you and what it means to you.
Like, let's see, comprehension. If you just learn that Jesus was a dark-skinned person, he was so-called black, right? Then you have to think about it. In the Bible, it says that when Jesus was a baby, he took flight with the Egyptians. So you have to start thinking, wait a minute. So like, if he was taking flight with the Egyptians and he was black, then he couldn't have been white because he would have stuck out.
He would have stayed out.
Yeah, so you got to think about that. That's comprehending. It's using it to like just understand what's being told, and that leads to the next step. But comprehension, because all the steps lead right into each other. Perfect. So if you miss one step, you're gonna be lost. If you don't verify your knowledge, you're gone. It's over. You can skip that step, go all the way to the top, but your pyramid's gonna crumble. So it has to be a certain way that you do it. So the comprehension is making sure that you fully understand what everything that with all the knowledge that you got. So after you verified it, you have to know that you have to understand it. So if you don't understand it, then the rest of your pyramid is it's not
gonna come together. But back on the still on the comprehension, it's just like we go back to the electoral college. You understand AP government. We both have AP government. We understand that electoral college chooses who's the president.
Right.
Popular vote, all that stuff is followed.
And the electoral college is chosen by the state, the party in that state. So like the
Democratic Party,
right.
Republican Party. So they choose who their own own electors. So, and the delegates, super delegates, they choose during the primaries.
They're not elected either.
They choose during the primary. So this is not when they say, oh, you hear the new speech, you hear Obama's speech. Yeah, he's talking about folly because we know that. We understand that it doesn't matter what I vote. You don't have to be depressed about it. You just know that you understand. That's the part of understanding. You move on to other modes of information, more curiosity. You learn that electoral college is chosen the president chosen by electoral college, so there's no need for you to vote. So waste your time and money. It doesn't cost anything, but waste your time. Transportation. So that's what understanding is. It's navigation now because you understand it. It's like, okay, I understand stuff. I'm gonna abstract. I'm gonna stop from doing this. I'm gonna do this.
And that the last sentence that leads right into the next part, which is application. That means you have to apply what you've learned. If you don't apply it, then it's a waste. It's a complete waste of all your time and your effort to learn it. Because application is saying, okay, I know the true path. Now I'm gonna walk the path.
Exactly.
Now whenever somebody asks me, am I gonna vote? I'm gonna say no, I'm not gonna vote, and here's my reason why. If that person's worth the time to tell them why. So you break down, why you're not doing it, and you have to actually live it. If you realize Jesus is not a European, tell your pastor, bring him pictures of catacombs in Rome from 500 AD of Jesus. He looks dark. He's got 300. Yeah. He's got nappy hair. Sitting there with all the disciples, they all got nappy hair. Bring that to your pastor. Show him. Be like, okay, what's up with this European guy? I heard that was Michelangelo's uncle. So what's the math? If it is, we should take a sledgehammer and break it down and put up a new one. So that's the application part. That's not radical. That's not radical at all. Okay. Radical would be killing your church pastor. That would be radical. Because he lied to you for so many years and extracted so much of your money.
He was confused, but But yeah, so the application in Matrix, the more said it. They call him more Morpheus. I mean, no, they call him Morpheus.
Morpheus, right?
They call him Morpheus. So they call him Morpheus. He said, "You're soon gonna learn, Neo. There's a difference between knowing the path and walking it.
Mm-hmm.
This is the step. Application is walking the path, and walking the path.
That's the hardest part, really, for most.
Walking
people.
the path. This is the hardest part.
Mm-hmm.
Walking the path leads to other people walking the path because they see you walking it.
Right.
And Jesus said, he said something like, don't impose things upon men which you can't do yourself, or you aren't.
Whoever's without
yourself.
sin cast the first stone. That's one way to say it. Whoever
you got it. The Mo got it.
Whoever if until you know what you're doing, until you have your logic figured out, don't try to come to me and ask me questions. A lot of people try to do that. They try to debate things that they don't even know about, and then it's just two people that don't know nothing, and no knowledge can come out of it if there's no knowledge to begin with the equation. That's
blind leading the blind.
Right.
But basically, this application and putting it into work, putting it into action, so people can see from it and learn from it. Because if you know things, there's a demonstration. Like, people know that meat is bad for you, but they eat it.
Right.
Or people know that, like the Masons, they know that Allah is the greatest, or Allahu Akbar, but they teach the people Christianity to enslave them. Or they know that Christianity enslaves, and they know have the secret teaching, which is the Quran Gospel. They teach you, and that teaches spirituality and how to control your carnal self or your emotions and stuff. But they teach, okay, just going
10 Commandments.
10 Commandments to folly stuff. So there's just between walking the path and demonstrating it. So I mean, knowing the path and demonstrating it. So but I forgot to put one more thing in, and it's knowledge, which is important, and it correlates with critical thinking. And critical thinking gains is the judgment of the knowledge, reflective judgment of the knowledge. And knowledge is power. We all know that. They always say that, but I don't know if people understand it. Knowledge is completely power. Like, if you know the difference between poison ivy and kale, or poison ivy and lettuce, you know what I mean? Death and life.
Right.
That's knowledge that allows you to survive. You know, if you got the knowledge on how to swim, you teach your family, and then somebody else doesn't, they're drowning. So knowledge is completely power. And when somebody tries to deprive you knowledge or extract knowledge, then that's a tactical warfare.
Right.
And you have to treat it like that. So that's why critical thinking is important. So you say, somebody gives you some knowledge claims or arguments, and you say, okay, time for critically thinking. Let me get the mathematics on this, and let me make sure this is true, this is really knowledgeable, and this is hold on, you're standing on my cord.
Oh,
I want you to pull it out. And is this really powerful knowledge, or they're trying to deprive me? And if we think back in school, they always had us skipping the critical thinking questions. Why did they have us skipping the critical thinking questions?
Go look in your book for anything, biology, whatever class you're taking. There's always 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is critical thinking, but they always tell you, oh, just do 1 through 4. So,
and then let's look at what is we don't have our books in our Black Law Dictionary and everything, but we're gonna go from their mind. What were the first 4 questions? Define, write down what's in the bold, list. List means to write down what you see. Right. Identify. That just means point out.
Bold, right.
All in bold. Nowadays they got it highlighted in bold.
Yeah.
Don't think, just write this down.
If a 4th grader could a 3rd grader could solve biology problems from the book.
Anyone who can see and functionally use their fingers can do the problems. Right. They say list. What does list mean? Write it down. Okay, I can write it down. I can see. It takes no brain power. But this act of
and why are they doing that? Because low standards, that's gonna make low results.
And it's a tactical warfare. If somebody depriving you of knowledge,
exactly.
That's a warfare. Right. That's psychological. That's what we
call
psychological warfare.
What the clarification on that is that if your teacher is telling you that you should vote because you have power, and you know that that's wrong, you have to realize that the teacher themselves don't make the curriculums. The teachers are paid to do that. So don't come at your teacher like, what the hell? This is warfare, man. Like, they can't do anything about it. It's the, you have to realize it's the higher power. So I'm just want to clarify, don't nobody go radical, just radical all over in the streets talking about, oh, you're trying to deprive me of knowledge, knowledge is power, because they're not even making it,
That's a good point. But that'll come later with evaluation, which is just the whole span of things, but that'll come later.